Let's cut straight to the question almost every family asks me. Does Medicare pay for assisted living? Quick answer, no. At least not in the way most people think. Here's a fictional but very relatable example. The Chen family in San Jose moved their dad into assist after his Parkinson's symptoms worsened. When they got the first bill, over $7,000 for rent, meals, and personal care, they immediately asked the director, "Can we bill Medicare for this?" The answer was no. Medicare wouldn't pay for a dime of it. The family was stunned. Dad had worked for decades paying into Medicare every paycheck. They assumed it covered assisted living, but Medicare isn't designed for that. It's designed for health care, not housing or custodial care. And that misunderstanding costs families tens of thousands of dollars every year. Hi, I'm Dale Corpus, a Senior Transition Specialist and real estate expert based in the San Francisco Bay Area. This is another episode of Sandwich Generation Solutions, powered by the Simplify Senior Transitions podcast, where I share real stories, expert insights, and practical tips to help families navigate the complexities of senior living and caregiving. Today, I'm answering once and for all, does Medicare pay for assisted living? And I'll walk you through what's covered, what isn't, and how families can bridge the gap with other resources. Let's dive in. First, let's clear the air. Medicare does cover a lot of important healthcare needs for seniors. Hospital stays after being admitted, short-term skilled nursing up to 100 days if you meet certain requirements after a hospital stay, rehabilitation like physical or occupational therapy, home health services if they're medically necessary, hospice care when facing a terminal illness. These are valuable benefits. They can save families thousands in medical costs. But notice the common thread. They're all healthcare related. Here's the hard truth. Assisted living rent? Not covered. Meal plans in assisted living? Not covered. Help with daily activities like bathing, dressing, or toileting? Not covered. Long-term custodial care? Not covered. That's because Medicare is health insurance, not long-term care insurance. It was never built to pay for housing or personal care needs. And this is where families get caught off guard. Families hear that Medicare covers nursing homes, and that's partly true. But here's the distinction. Medicare covers short-term rehab in a skilled nursing facility, not indefinite nursing home or assisted living stays. So when mom or dad needs assisted living because they can't safely live at home anymore, Medicare isn't going to step in. In the Bay Area, this is especially tough news. Assisted living in Contra Costa and Alameda counties, $5,000 to $6,000 a month. Memory care in Santa Clara County, $8,000 to $10,000 a month. Even smaller board and care homes often run $5,000 to $7,000 a month. That's $60,000 to $120,000 a year. Families who believe Medicare will cover this are blindsided when the bills start arriving. So if Medicare won't pay for assisted living, what are your options? 1. Medi-Cal, California's Medicaid program. Through programs like Assisted Living Waiver, ALW, and now CalAIM, Medi-Cal can help cover assisted living costs for those who qualify. But there are eligibility requirements and often wait lists. 2. Long-term care insurance. If your parent bought a policy years ago, this may help cover assisted living or in-home care. 3. Private pay. Many families use savings, pensions, or proceeds from selling the family home to fund assisted living. 4. Hybrid planning. Medicare for medical care, Medi-Cal for room and board if eligible, and personal funds or insurance to fill the gap. Let's go back to the Chen family. After their initial shock, they learned that while Medicare wouldn't pay for Dad's assisted living apartment, it did cover his Parkinson's medications, therapy sessions, and some in-home skilled nursing visits before he moved. Later, with CalAIM, they were able to get partial coverage for his assisted living costs through Medi-Cal. By combining Medicare for medical needs and Medi-Cal for housing, they reduced the out-of-pocket burden dramatically. This is what planning looks like, understanding what each program covers and layering them together. Let's bust some myths. Myth 1, Medicare pays for assisted living. False, it doesn't. Myth 2, Medicare will pay for long-term nursing home care. False, only short-term rehab stays are covered. Myth 3, if you're on Medicare, you're financially set. False, Medicare doesn't touch the biggest costs families face, housing and custodial care. In the Bay Area, families are particularly vulnerable to this myth because costs are so high. When assisted living averages $6,000 to $8,000 a month, believing Medicare will cover it is financially devastating. That's why I'm so passionate about educating families early before they're in crisis. Here are the takeaways. 1, Medicare covers healthcare, not housing. 2, assisted living, rent, meals, and personal care are not covered. 3, families must explore Medi-Cal, long-term care insurance, and private pay options. 4, combining programs is the best strategy. And 5, planning early prevents financial shock. This has been another episode of Sandwich Generation Solutions, powered by the Simplify Senior Transitions podcast. If your loved one is considering senior living and you need to figure out what to do with their home, let's talk. Schedule a free consultation and learn more about my services at www.simplifyseniortransitions.com. Have a quick question, DM me on Instagram at SoldByDale. And don't forget, you can listen to the Simplify Senior Transitions podcast on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and all major platforms. If this video helped you, please like, subscribe, and share it with someone you care about. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you on the next episode.